Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to also look at the View tab, and this time, though, we're going to kind of see some of the different features that are possible. Okay, so click back on the View tab, right? We went through all these. Next, we're going to look at the ruler. Okay, so if I click this ruler, you can see it gets rid of the ruler that's on the top and vertical ruler, right? So horizontal and vertical ruler disappears or appears. Okay, so we want to make sure that we can see them, so we're going to click the ruler. Next, we want to make sure we can see our grid lines. Okay, so this is more for like artistically or making sure that things match up, but I can choose that, right? So when I click, you can see it's easy for me to align items now. Okay, that's kind of annoying though, so let's turn that off. Next, we're going to click the navigation pane. Okay, so the navigation pane is now turned on. So now let's say I'm looking for a word. I can go ahead and click relocation. It's going to highlight where the different words are. Okay, and then I can actually select and use these up and down arrows to see where they go. So let's go ahead and we're going to click on the third tab. Okay, we're going to click on the third tab, results, over here. And we can see all the different text is bolded, right? So this is where the word relocation appears several times. So if we click on the first tab where it says headings, it shows us the words that have the heading styles that are shown, right? So we can see that it does that. Okay, so now we're going to click on the Home tab, and in the Styles group, we can notice that this is normal, right? But if I were to click on, let's go to this one. Okay, so when I click on option 1, it takes me up here. We can see that the style selected is heading 1. Okay, so I can change that. We'll talk about that later, but you can see how it would change at different styles. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is over here on the Home tab, we have this Find button. I'm going to click the pull down so that I can see all the different options, right? And I can click Advanced Find. Okay, so now I already have that word typed in, but if you needed to find the word, you click, you type it in, and then click Find Next, and it will also go find the different words and highlight them. Okay, until I turn that feature off. So now I have the option to click the reading highlight button, and then I can click clear highlighting if I have the right one selected, right? So like right here, I'd be able to clear the highlighting. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit close, closing out of that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the top of my document again, make sure that I'm clicked at the beginning, and then I'm gonna click the replace button that's underneath the find button. Okay, and so then this box appears. So we are going to type in, for instance, Montgomery, and we want to replace it with my last name. Okay, so Cornia, right? So anytime it sees the word Montgomery, it's going to replace it with my last name. So I can either hit replace or replace all. I'm just going to hit replace all, 0 replacements. I'm going to hit it one more time because it didn't look through everything. Well, that means that Montgomery is not, maybe because I spelled it wrong. Montgomery. Oh, because I put an E in there. Let's get rid of that E. Okay, there we go. So now I made the changes. Okay, so that's an important thing to notice is if I mistype something by even just one character, it's not going to replace it. It has to have the exact same match. Other thing to be careful of is if I have a space on the end of this, it's going to look for anything that has Montgomery and the space. Spaces count as characters. Okay, so like if I have it at the beginning or the end, you have to make sure that it's not there. Otherwise, it's looking for that specific thing. Okay, so other thing that we can do is let's go ahead and in the find what box, we are going to type in Slade, okay, because there's the name Slade in there. And we're going to replace it with Slade again. Okay, so it's the exact same thing, except we're going to format it differently. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm clicked on that replace with box, and I'm going to click more. Okay, and then I'm going to click on the format button down here. And let's change the font. So I'm going to click the replace option, and I'm going to change the font to, let's do Broadway. Broadway looks fun. If I can find it. Broadway. Okay, so I want to replace it with Broadway. I want to change the font to italics. And I want to change the font to 14 bullet point. Okay, and then let's change the color to like a dark red. Maybe we'll do this one, yeah, dark red. And then I can also make the underline do a double underline. And maybe I want the underline to be a light blue. Okay, so now that's what it would replace it with. So I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to click Replace All. Okay, so you can see right here, Format, there's none under this one. Because I'm clicked under here, the format, this is what it's going to change the format to. So anything that says Slate is going to now change to this. 3 replacements. So now I've got that cool feature. Okay, so the formatting. Now, the other way to look at this is you got to make sure that you're doing the formatting on what you're replacing with, because now if I try to replace Slade, let's say I want to replace it with Happy. Okay, what's going to happen is it's going to be looking for Slade with no format. So it's not going to, just kidding, it did it, but it's because I was already selected on it. But yeah, it's not looking for that specific format. Okay, so if you're looking for a specific format and that's all you want to change, you'd have to go in and change that. Okay, let's see. We'll wait for the next video to go over some more stuff. So you can go ahead and play around with that and see, make sure that you understand it.